Hello everybody, Bill here, that owl guy. I wanted to review with y'all the differences in owl boxes and when you're choosing an owl box, what you should look for. Okay, because there's lots of different things you need to know, and there's different owls require different things. So let's start with these SCREECH owl boxes. Okay, and I'm using my boxes for obvious reasons because this is what I have in stock. Okay, but I'm going to compare these to others. SCREECH owl boxes, a lot of people go online and they'll buy an owl box, and the first owl box that I see the biggest mistake with is you're going to see these boxes that are tall and thin and they've got a hole up on top. Okay, they say they're advertised as SCREECH owl boxes / saw wet owl boxes. Okay, those are actually saw wet owl boxes. We don't have any saw wet owls here in Texas. Those are located way up north. Okay, and they require totally different types of nesting sites and roosting sites than our SCREECH owls. They are related to SCREECH owls, but they're quite a bit smaller. They're like a very small cousin to a SCREECH owl. Okay, so the problem you run into with those boxes, people buy them and they're small. They have a very small base on them, usually around 8 inches or so at most. Okay, so the SCREECH owls are going to try and nest in that, but what happens is it's so crowded, either the eggs get broken or the oldest chicks will outcompete the younger chicks for food because it's so crowded, and you're going to lose part of your batch. Okay, so you're not doing yourself or the owls any favors by buying that kind of a box around here. If you're up north, yeah, those boxes work great, but around here, that's not what you're looking for. The other boxes I see that we have real problems with, they're about the size of my box, which is about 1 foot square on the base, but they're quite a bit taller, and the top is hinged right here. Okay, typically those boxes are made maybe out of plywood. If it is, it's usually like 3/4 inch plywood, but they'll make them out of 2x10s or 2x12s, so they're extremely heavy to put up. And on top of that, they with the hinge on top, it makes it easy to load the bedding into the box. But how the hell are you going to get the bedding out of the box? You got to reach in, you got to get your ladder up above the box and then reach in there and scoop all that crap out. So just doesn't make any sense. And what I run into is people put those boxes up and they just forget about them. They're never maintained. They might get an owl for a season, and after that the box is just done. Okay, so big thing is you've got to be able to maintain your boxes. Okay, so a lot of boxes you buy, they'll have a door in front that flips up or a door on the side that flips up. That's fine. Ours have a tray that pulls out so you can just dump the stuff. Okay, so you want to be thinking about maintenance when you buy a box. Also, our boxes, you're going to notice our holes are off center, and they're off center so you have a more protected area on one side from the elements and from predators. Okay, you center that hole, there's not much room for those owls to go in either direction. So this just gives better protection, overall protection. And you're going to see the same thing on the barn owl boxes and the barred owl boxes. Okay, so be thinking about that. One other box that is very popular, and frankly I don't have a problem with this box. It's a tad smaller than my box, and you guys will see them. They have a green plastic roof on them. Okay, and the hole is centered. It's sort of a half moon shaped hole, and it's centered right at the top. Those are popular. They work well. They're actually not bad nesting boxes. They're a little small. The hole is, in my opinion, a little small. The only problem I've got with them is the mounting on them. When you get those boxes, you have to open the door, and there's generally two holes in the back of it, and you've got to run a screw into your tree through the inside of the box. Okay, that is a huge pain in the butt because you're up there on a ladder trying to balance the box with a screw in it, and then you're trying to put a you're not going to run the screw in the tree with a regular screwdriver. You're going to need to use an electric drill, and ultimately you've got to have one of these, an extension to put on your drill to go inside that box, because your drill is not going to fit inside the box. Okay, so that's my only real complaint on those boxes. It's not well thought out. What you can do once you buy one of those boxes, get a piece of wood, strap it to the back, and do an arrangement like this so you can just hang the box. Your life's going to be a lot easier. Alright, so that's it for the Screech owl boxes. You know, mine are about 1 foot square. They're about 15 inches tall on the back. Adequate. In the last couple of years, we haven't lost a lot of chicks that I know of. I've seen lots of clutches of 3 and 4 owlets. So, you know, around our area, this box is really good. One other thing and remember, these boxes can be regionally specific. Okay, one thing our box has that most boxes don't have, you can see that they got ventilation in them. Okay, because we have these long, hot, miserably hot summers around here, so you want to be able to vent that air out of there. And we have relatively short, fairly quiet winters, so you want ventilation is huge around here. And you want to mount these boxes, you know, 8 to 10 to 12 feet high, usually around the run of the first branches on a tree, the bottom run of the branches on a tree, and you want to have a clear flight path into the box, so no branches out here. And you're going to notice one other thing a lot of people do wrong. They'll buy boxes excuse me, and they'll put a branch on the box or a perch. And my original boxes actually had perches. Okay, the problem with that is that perch, owls don't need a perch. That perch is a perch for predators, and I've been sent several videos of people's boxes where the crows are raiding the nest and they're pulling the little owlets out, and these little screech owls are defenseless against a bunch of crows. They just can't fight them off. So you don't want to perch on a screech owl box. Okay, this is here more for appearance and for structure. Keep that faceplate straight. They'll get on here, give them something to grab, but it's so high up that, you know, a crow's going to stand up here, so he can't bend in there and mess with that. So no perches on screech owl boxes. Okay, so just avoid that, especially if you guys build your own. But you know, this is your typical, and it's great regionally. It's perfect for around here. These boxes work great up north. The only thing I would say is up north, I'll walk around here and show you this. You probably want to take a block of wood and screw on right there on either side and close off those rear vents. Okay, that's just because you got those long, hard, nasty winters, and you want to capture as much heat as you can in those boxes. Okay, so you just don't need that ventilation up north. Otherwise, regionally around here, these boxes are perfect, but they work across the country. All right, and you want to remember these screech owls. One thing where people get a misconception, they think they're going to put their box up and the owl's just going to sit in that box all day and guard their yard. Doesn't work that way. Okay, these owls are sitting there and roosting there during the daytime, rest, relax, be quiet. They're protected, and then in the evening they come out and they'll hunt a specific area. They'll just fly around. Now what they will do, if they catch a large prey like a large rat or something like that, these screech owls will bring that back to the box and eat it in there, as opposed to eating it out in the field somewhere. All right, so that's it for my soapbox stand on the screech owl boxes. And I've got more information on these screech owls and a couple other videos you guys should look at. Let me jump over here to the barn owl boxes. Okay, as you can see, these are quite a bit larger. Stand back and compare those. It's quite a bit larger. Okay, taller, wider, fatter, and they got that exercise platform on them. Okay, and I'm going to talk about these along with the barred owl boxes too. The core box, the center box, the core box on barn owl boxes and on barred owl boxes is exactly the same. Okay, the difference is this platform right here. Barn owls require this platform it's an exercise platform. Okay, barred owls, you gotta have the box, and you're gonna have branches out here or a loose lattice work of wood out here, and that's because barred owls, that's the owl you hear at night that is who cooks for you. Okay, when those chicks get old enough, they'll come out of the box and they get on branches, and oddly enough, that's called branching. So that's how they get their exercise. And the barred owl chicks can actually fall to the ground, and they're strong enough that they can claw their way back up the tree using not only their claws but their beak, and they'll come back up. So you don't have to worry about them. Barn owls aren't like that. Barn owls use this exercise platform. The chicks get old enough, they come out and they stand here and they work their wing muscles. That's all they do is work their wing muscles, work their wing muscles, work their wing muscles. And the reason is when a barn owl chick leaves the nest, finally, they're ready to go. They're ready to hunt. They're ready to fly. They don't have that 4 or 5 day period where they're down near the ground and hopping around and going from tree to tree. They're ready to rock and roll. So they're okay. But you got to have this exercise platform, because if they hop out of the box and hit the ground, they're a dead owl. They're not capable of climbing back up as owlets to their nest. Okay, barred owls are. So, and there's another video specifically on these barn owl boxes for you guys that gives you a lot of facts about barn owls. They're sort of a peculiar owl in and of themselves. Okay, so barred owl boxes, barn owl boxes, pretty much the same size, just the difference with the exercise platform and or the branching platform on them. Okay, this box is probably 15, 16, 17 inches tall, and the base is somewhere around 12 by 18, 12 by 16, something like that. It's just because they're larger owls, they require that space. This box is on the small side for barn owl boxes. Okay, and I did that specifically because people buy these from me to put up themselves, and you got to manage the box while you're putting it up. So they're light, they're made of cedar, they're light, the top is completely sealed, so there's no leakage at all. That's specific to barn owls. You can't have any kind of leakage on top of the box. But these boxes are light enough that one person can handle them, put them up, and they've got the hole that you hang the box by, and then you drill in 4 other screws. Okay, SCREECH owl boxes got a hole, and we got 3 other screws that go in there. And speaking of the screws, I want to show you this. This is what we use: 2.5 or 3 inch auger screws. These are actually construction screws. One mistake a lot of people make: they put their box up and they use sheetrock screws. They may be 3 inch sheetrock screws, 2.5 inch sheetrock screws. Those ultimately will fail on you. One, they're going to rust out. Usually within a season they'll rust out. But 2, those are so hard that they're brittle. And if you're running a sheetrock screw into a really hard tree, it'll snap the screw off before you ever get it all the way in. And sheetrock screws are Phillips heads. If you look at these, you can see they got a hex head on them, so there's no stripping that screw out. And these screws, when they go in, they're auger screws. As they go in, they'll seal up behind themselves on the tree, so you're not going to have any kind of weeping or really damage the screw. You're going to screw it to a tree, you're not going to do any more damage than a woodpecker would hitting the tree. Okay, so when you're buying a box, check out the hardware. You got to change it out, whoever the box you buy. Make sure the boxes are water sealed on the outside. If you're going to put the box up yourself, make sure you buy a box that you can handle. Okay, these are pretty lightweight boxes. I've put about 750 of these things up in the last 2.5 years. So I've got it down to a science, and they're just easy. Sorry about that, guys. My storage was full. I hadn't deleted any of my videos from repairing the truck earlier this week. Anyways, got this down to a science. Like I said, I put a bunch of these up. So when you're choosing a box, no matter whose box you buy, make sure the box is going to do the job that you want it to, and it's for the correct owl, the correct application. Okay, it really helps to go to some good sites and figure out these owls. One thing people do that is really aggravating, and it's just a bad habit, is they think that everything is set in concrete. Okay, owls, like all other animals, regionally they have different habits. Okay, in the case of these screech owls, which are declining in population throughout the United States, they're not declining in population because there's no food. They're declining in population because we come along and knock down all the trees, and then there's no old growth or old damaged trees with holes in them for them to roost and nest in. Okay, so your job is to put a box up that will give them an adequate roosting and nesting site. That's your job. So if you're going to get a small, tiny little box, it's just a roosting box, you're not doing anybody any favors. Okay? In fact, you're doing more damage than you are good. And we've got empirical evidence now over the last 2 years of boxes that we put up that we're having an increase in population in certain areas around Plano and Carrollton and northern Dallas. We're just seeing a lot more screech owls because we're getting more boxes up, and we have a higher survival rate of the owlets. Okay, same goes for barn owls. So, but study up on these owls. A good place to go is Cornell University. They have a really excellent site on birds, and they're a wealth of information. But like I say, things are not set in concrete. So if you read the box has got to be 30 feet high, well, that might work in North Georgia in a pine forest. Okay, around here in Texas, you know, our average oak tree is about 30 feet high, and the first run of branches is usually around 10 or 15 feet. So we install these boxes that are about 12 feet. Okay, any higher around here, you're up in the canopy, you're not going to get birds as frequently. Any lower, you're going to have a predator problem. So just use some common sense when you guys buy a box, whoever it is. Use common sense, study up on it, and you need to be a little flexible. All right, guys, I hope this helps everybody a little bit when you're out there choosing a box, and we'll see you out in the field. Bye.